Now, this is not Siddharth brought that this is a number that I just get it from internet and share it. This is a Gartner, Gartner's information. Gartner is very, very well known in the space of the researches that they do and they bring it. Now, in this example, you can clearly see, or in this scenario, you can see how companies are spending time, and you can see here one such infrastructure, which is infrastructure as service, is growing massively, and it is at a very great growth rate of 29.1. Now, what is that has to do with our technology, or what is exactly it has to do? There is a reason, people, that I am trying to go and tell you, and the underlying reason is this. Can you read the statement here? Can you read the statement here, people? Everyone? Before that, I hope you can see my screen.
Yes, visible. Yes, clear.
So, what it has to say? It has to say that the latest information as of May 2024, if you look at the infrastructure as code, infrastructure as service, that is at 29.1, that is a raise. So, what is the reason behind it? If you just go ahead and just have a look into the explanation that they have given an amazing explanation. The infrastructure continues at the robust growth rate that is reflective of generative AI, which is right now the buzz that is happening. That means the need for the infrastructure to undertake AI model training, inference, fine tuning has been only growing and will continue to grow exponentially and have a direct effect on the IaaS consumption. Now, participants, did this break your thought that we are required to go ahead and just start using cloud? The answer is beyond that. It is not that we have to start using the cloud. We have to go ahead and accept the fact that we have to use the cloud. Apart from that, we need to also include the capabilities of AI into the cloud. That is where the next generation concepts are coming and they're picking up. That means every company is having some of their footprints on cloud. Earlier, maybe around 10 years back, the buzz of cloud was very high. But now the buzz of cloud is not that. The buzz of the cloud is more on the AI part. A lot of companies are expecting to build their own models, build their own AI models, build their own machine learning models, and they want to go ahead and use the cloud infrastructure. That means if you're using cloud and if you started cloud, that means you're already 10 years behind the system. Already 10 years ago, cloud adoption started. A lot of companies have shifted into this space. Now it is cloud adoption plus the adoption to the AI. That means if a company is building a AI model, that means there is a very, very great chance that they build on cloud. So this was the reason, people, I wanted to go ahead and get you onto this Gartner's information. So participants, now you have an assurance that cloud is making its own way, which has already made it actually. Cloud has already made its way, but the space at which the growth has amplified is because of adaptation to the AI. Am I good, everyone? Participants, am I good?
Yeah, yes.
If you simplify it in one line, the growth at which cloud is happening is majorly because of AI. A lot of companies are building their AI models on cloud. Best example, ChatGPT. So if you look at if you look at ChatGPT, participants, what is exactly ChatGPT is telling you? ChatGPT is a model, but this model is in line with, or if you look at the story behind it, it is basically running on Microsoft Azure. ChatGPT is running on Microsoft Azure. That means if someone go ahead and use their AI model, that means in the backend, someone is making use of Azure Cloud. That means in the backend, someone is making use of Azure Cloud. Am I good, everyone? Participants, am
Yes.
I good? If you and me are using today ChatGPT, indirectly, we are trying to go ahead and use Azure. We're trying to go ahead and use AWS or some or the other clouds. So here is the point that I want you to memorize, or I want you to connect from here. That if you want to go ahead and build your skills accordingly to the AI and machine learning, go ahead and build your skills along with the cloud provider. So where you can go ahead and justify your learning as well as your skills. And when I had discussed this logic with all of you, I heard that most of you had some or the other experience with the cloud. That was the other reason why I asked you, participants, do you have experience with regards to cloud? I heard most of the people have it, and already they are working. Some of you people are working as SREs, some are people are DevOps engineers, some people are working as a cloud engineer. That's where this is where you need to, maximize your skills so that you can go ahead and build a AI or MLOps engineer. Now the question will come is, Kumar, I understood you wanted to go ahead and discuss, but what exactly is an AI and a machine learning engineer would do? So let me go ahead and spend some time with you people to go ahead and discuss that what exactly are we trying to go ahead and bring here. So to answer this question of AI and machine learning, let's go back to a little bit of basics. The basics that I want you to connect are this. If I go ahead and give you participants an image in today, image to a text, like, there are a lot of models that are available where they're trying to go ahead and do that. The image that you go ahead and pass, it will go ahead and give you a text. So I'm not going to go ahead and make it now. So participants, this logic that you can see here, image to text.io, it's basically a model which expects some input from you, and it expects, and you can expect an outcome from it as a image out of it. The reverse way is possible. You can take a image, you can turn it into a text. That means you take a PDF document or a PDF JPG file, where let's say you have taken a notes of some, you have taken some notes, you have taken it, and you want to turn it into a file. That is also possible. So my point here is that there is some intelligence that is running in the background of this image.text.io. There is some intelligence. Is that is a human intelligence? Participants, is there any human involved to do this job of converting image to text, text to image? Is there any
No.
human involved?
No.
Clearly, the answer is no. That means there is
Yes,
some
no.
kind of intelligence which is non-human in nature. That means it's not human. There is some non-human item that is present. There is non-human item entity that is available, this doing the job. If it is natural, that's fine, because humans get naturally evolved with the intelligence. That's natural intelligence. But this is an induced intelligence. Correct me, participants? Do you think machines that we are right now trying to do the job of converting an image to text, text to an image, do you think they get, by the time they get assembled, they will get that intelligence?
They have to be trained.
Exactly. They will not get the way the humans get an intelligence. Like, by birth, we get our intelligence. We get learned by things. We get to learn the things. But machines don't have that intelligence. Even with a flash of a action, I can erase the memory of a machine. But humans cannot be done like that. Humans have an enormous amount of memory, but we actually fail to process it. But machines are not like that. They are machines that they go ahead and take the request and process it. Now, the entire story, let me go ahead and put it in simple terms, that as humans, a task that I cannot do, I replace a human with a machine and make a machine intelligent. What is that I do? I make my machine intelligent so that machine starts to go ahead and use this induced intelligence and start taking the actions. So that's how you will get introduced to AI and machine learning. So what it is that you have to understand? You have to understand that as a humans, in order to go ahead and get a job done, I need to instruct instruct a human. That is, hey, I want you to go ahead and send an email. You will send an email based upon the request that hey, forward this email to an attachment, some kind of an action. I say, hey, can you go ahead and write a code for me? You will write a code. But machines don't understand that. Machine understand only two inputs: off, on, off, and on. That is basically, if you represent them in binary, it's zeros and one. Transistor, if you go down to the layer of machines, it is zeros and one. So participants, now in order to go ahead and induce intelligence into the machines, I need to go to that binary bytecode level where I have to induce these zeros and ones so the machines can understand. Now, if machines can start understanding those requests, then they will start processing that request. Now tell me people, I have a question for all of you. Now I have a question for all of you. I have given an image where I have written a very wrong term. Let's say the term that I've written in order to go ahead and say is I want to go ahead and put an image where the image is of a let's say uh, in that image I have written the text about notes. Instead of writing an answer, I have written, I did not write the answer. Let's assume that I did not. This is an example, right? I was talking about. So I wanted to go ahead and pass an image. In this image, I was expected to write a logic. That logic was incorrect, syntactically incorrect. Now it is expected to get converted into text. Let's say I had an image of a Taj Mahal, and I asked my model, hey model, can you go ahead and get me this model, learn, and give me the text of which label does it belong to? Is it a monument, or is it an animal? Is it a plant? But the machine will just start taking it because I gave the image of a Taj Mahal, and I expect it to convert to text by giving the text information what it is. It is expected that it is a monument. I'm expecting the information that it has predicted in the form of a label is equal to monument. But participants, if it is a human, let's say a human is given a Taj Mahal and I ask him, hey, can you expect this Taj Mahal to be an animal? So definitely with our human intelligence, we can immediately go ahead and tell what is that you are trying to go ahead and say. It's a Taj Mahal that is available. It is standing in front of me and I can see in the image, it's a Taj Mahal and it's not a non-human object. It's not an animal. It's monument. But the problem is machines. If you go ahead and give Taj Mahal in front of it, if you go ahead and put a Taj Mahal to it, machines cannot go ahead and I was talking about this topic. So let's assume that I had an image of Taj Mahal. This is a monument. This is a monument, and this is a Taj Mahal. Now, what I want is I want to go ahead and pass this image to text, and what I want is as soon as I pass this image, I want a label to be predicted, which is basically a text that I want. What is it? Is it a monument? I want an outcome in the form of option A, monument, or is it a plant, or is it a human, or is it an animal? This is what is an outcome that I'm expecting. Animal, plant, or human. Now this is an input that I gave, and this is the outcome I'm expecting. And the image to text is the model that is trying to do the job. Now tell me people, I have a question for you. If a human is given this task, participants, what do you expect? Will he be able to go ahead and tell, hey, this is a plant? Will you go ahead and tell this is a plant?
No, monument.
No.
You can go ahead and tell monument. But now let me tell you the story in the other way. let's say I did a training for this model in such a way that whenever you see such kind of, I say that, hey, model, you need to go and predict as an animal. See, I'm trying to wrongly induce the training for it and say, hey, machine, when you go and train, when you see such, image references of one, what do you call it as monument, once you see a pillar, once you see a color of white, once you see a curvex. So all this information, it should go and present it to animal. What I'll do next time, I'll go and pass an input of a Taj Mahal monument. Instead of predicting monument, because human has predicted monument, now it started to go and machine predicted to take an action of animal. So what is the intelligence that we have induced? The intelligence which we have induced into that machine started to predict false information. Correct? Participants predicted the false information. Am I right?
Yes.
It is the intelligence, yet the machine has an intelligence, but it has predicted the false information. Now, what I want to do is, I, as a manager of this project, of this company, image to text, came to know that whenever there is an image of Taj Mahal was uploaded into the system, machine started to go and predict that it is of animal. Now, if someone is paying $2.49 per a week, and he's getting such a predictions that when he upload Taj Mahal, he's getting an outcome as an animal. Next time, I'm not going to go and I'm not going to go and upgrade myself. I will drop it. That means there is a huge hit on the business. Correct, everyone? One
Yeah,
time,
yes.
it's okay. Next time, who is interested? Oh, this poor company, let's go and help them. Nobody will think about it. Next time, Baba, I'm not interested. This guy, when Taj Mahal is uploaded, this guy is predicting animals. What kind of training they have done on their models? No. So businesses want reliable, companies want to build some reliable solutions. That means I need to go ahead and build my models in such a way that they are intelligent enough to take actions. Participants, are we good? Everyone, are we good? Now, what I want is, I want to go ahead and focus now that based upon the intelligence, I want to go ahead and, just a minute, I want to clear my screen. So participants, what I want to go ahead and now start building such a solution. Yeah, there was someone, please go ahead. Okay, participants, don't worry. I know you have a lot of questions. I'll make the story very simple, that once my story is narrated to you, once you like the screenplay, once you like the actors, once you like the dialogues, once you like the music, everything is done, then you can go ahead and bring me to the climax. Then we can go ahead and understand the climax. So just wait for some time. We are just about to cross an interval. And once the intermission is done, we will continue till the climax. At the climax, we'll take up a lot of questions. Okay, participants? I hope the movie is good, or is it boring?
Well, good so far.
Okay, fine. Now, participants, coming back into the story now, the story comes to a point where there are three characters. Mr. Character number one, I want to go ahead and induce intelligence into the machine. That is the first character. This guy is not human, but he can go ahead and mimic what humans can do. But in order to go ahead and play the character of artificial intelligence, I need another character to come into the picture. Basically, I need to go ahead and train the model. What is this model training? If I have to go ahead and make a solution image to text.io, I need to train this image to text model already before this. That means already I should have trained whenever there is some structure. See, I did not get that word, but what do you call it as this? When you look at the Taj Mahal images, what do you call it as? Yeah, fort. This is a fort, and you see this chambers, we call it as. Let's say you call it as a chamber. So the moment we look into the chamber, it should be able to go ahead and do the prediction that is of a image of a Taj Mahal. So the point that I'm trying to go ahead and say is I want to go ahead and build a character which is not human, but it can go ahead and think like human and start taking actions. This is for image. Let's say I want it to write an email for. So we can go ahead and say, hey, ChatGPT, can you draft an email that I want to send to my customers, welcoming them on board? So it can go ahead and write, but it's not human. It's an induced intelligence that we call it. So we're inducing intelligence. But in order to go ahead and have this intelligence, what it is needs to do, it needs to get trained. That means it needs to go ahead and get to such a model, such a place where it should go ahead and understand the concept of machine getting trained. That means we take a computer, in layman terms, we take a computer, we tell to the computer, hey computer, listen, if you see something like this image, which has 4 chambers, white in color, with tombs on top of it, and white in color with the blocks and checks, just register yourself and make sure that you go and read it as a Taj Mahal. So it will go and check, is there any 4 chambers into it, pillars into it, white in color, checks box, and the design of it. So it will start reading it. Now the basic difference is that this guy is intelligent enough to tell that is model, but this guy is intelligent enough to take actions. That is the difference here. Everyone, are you with me, people? Hello? The difference in these two characters is that this character is dependent on learned model. Artificial intelligence is something that is dependent on machine learning. That means in order to go ahead and tell a image that is uploaded is of an image of a Taj Mahal or not, it should have trained itself already to a hundreds of thousands of images of Taj Mahal. Now, in order to be accurate, to have a great accuracy, what we need to do now, we need to go ahead and participants, now what we need to do is we need to go to a technique called deep learning. How machines get learned, they go ahead and induce this called deep learning. Now I know if I go ahead and start talking about deep learning, that will be very confusing. So I'll go ahead and give you a representation of neurons. So why is that it is called deep learning? I'll tell you the reason and how it is important. So participants, in our mind, we process our data with the help of this unit called neuron. This is a little bit of biology. I'm not going to go into it. But what exactly it is going to do is it basically registers something that you go ahead and ask it to store. So when you want to go ahead and store of basically an image of a Taj Mahal, so how do you go ahead and store it? So let's assume that this was a Taj Mahal. So let's assume that you were given this image and you saw this image and you memorized. That means in your brain, somewhere in your brain, there is some neuron that has registered the information about Taj Mahal to just get an impression, something like this. Now, my point is based upon this information. Now, if I go ahead and bring another image of a Taj Mahal, let's go back to another image of Taj Mahal. And if I go ahead and show you now this image, let's say cartoon image, Taj Mahal cartoon image. So even looking at this now, you can go ahead and tell, hey, this is almost the image that I have registered in my brain, looks similar to that of Taj Mahal. So it is definitely 100% chances of Taj Mahal. This is also similar to that Taj Mahal. This is also similar to Taj Mahal. This is also similar to Taj. So now you're able to go ahead and retrieve from somewhere that you have stored in your neuron that the features of the Taj Mahal, somewhere of the features of your Taj Mahal, all of those neurons here. So this concept has inspired scientists to go ahead and build this technique called deep learning. So what they have developed, they they developed this logic called deep learning. What is deep learning? A deep learning is nothing but a idea that makes your model to train in such a way that it can go ahead and store information about the model that has developed, and it is basically getting inspired the way that we store data in our memory. I know it is still not that easy for you to understand. Let me go ahead and show you people how basically an image gets stored. So let me show you some models that are developing. So image classification. So if you are trying to go and classify using keyless. So this example can help you now to understand. So this example has some inputs with regards to cats and dogs dataset. That means they take the cat dataset, dog dataset, they train the model, the model starts to register if features of the item resemble something like this. This is of 0, which is of cat, 1, which is of dog. So it starts to train itself. It standardizes the model. It breaks down the model. It gets done to a point where it reaches to a position where it is able to come to a conclusion that I basically look at the image and gets itself trained to a point that when the new data is given to it, whenever there is a new data, it will go and tell that the great chance is that it is 94% of chance it is of a cat image and 5% of the chance it is of a dog image when it is asked to go and do a prediction. Now you are able to relate people how it is able to go and tell. It is able to go and tell because it did trained itself over hundreds of thousands of images. It is able to go ahead and process the data, and it is able to train itself, and now the trained model is able to go ahead and tell that this image is of cat. Now, is this very clear, people? That's how images are memorized by us in humans, but in machines they get trained to such an extent via the concept of deep learning. That means they go ahead and utilize the concept of deep learning. With the help of deep learning, we go ahead and make machines to do image classification, video labels identified from videos. You might have noticed in Amazon Prime, when you're watching a movie, as soon as the actor comes up on the screen, next to that, you will see an X-ray running through that frame, and it will go ahead and tell who that actor is. If you click on that more information, it will tell you more information about that actor. That's basically a model that is deeply learned that this is the image of a celebrity. Let's say you're watching Donkey, and you saw in a given frame Shah Rukh Khan was available on Amazon Prime, you will see that it will go ahead and predict that this is the face of a celebrity Shah Rukh, and it will go ahead and display some relevant information about Shah Rukh. Why? Because it has deeply trained itself with the image, celebrity image of Shah Rukh. So participants, now a simple summary is that if you look at this simple summary, now the simple summary is that we have now three characters that I was trying to go ahead and highlight. The first character is your artificial intelligence, which is similar to the human, which basically uses the intelligence that has been given to it. Where does the intelligence originate from? Machine learning. Where is this machine is able to learn all of this? At its core, it is the technique that has been trained in the form of deep learning. So deep learning is the reason for machine to have this ability. Machine ability is the artificial intelligence. Now, how are we? Now it is time for us to go ahead and take an action. Now, before I go ahead and start talking about the ML ops and the AI ops, participants, are we good with the definitions of artificial intelligence? Are we good with the definitions of AI, machine learning? Are we good with the definitions of deep learning, participants? Participants,
Yes.
are we good?
Yeah, yes.
Yeah.
Only the definitions. What is artificial intelligence? It's an induced intelligence for a machine to do some kind of action mimicking human. Machine learning, a model or a machine is taken, trained itself to do some kind of actions where intelligence is built. How do we go and build the intelligence? On the technique using deep learning. Now, for all of this to happen, at core, we need basically a machine. What is that we need? We need at core a machine. Now, participants, this machine can be, if you go and look into the cloud providers, can be anything. In AWS cloud, it can be an EC2 instance. In Azure, it can be a virtual machine, and in GCP, it can be compute engine, CE compute engine. So this is for AWS, this is for Azure, and this is for Google Cloud Platform. So you can take any of this machine, not only even you can consider your local machine, but as I mentioned, we will start focusing on the cloud aspects. So look into the cloud, take a machine and tell this machine, hey machine, can you get started and train yourself so that you can become intelligent enough? Now, the problem that we have is we have to start from scratch, right? We have to get a machine, we have to train a model, we have to make it intelligent, we have to build it. So this may take good amount of time. So there was a research that was done, participants, and people were asked that how much time they spend in deploying the model. They say it almost takes it takes about a quarter for them, 4 months, almost a 4-month timeline takes for them for the models they develop and deploy it. Now companies are, struggling to end this challenge, and what they want is they want someone who have a skill of deploying. What they want the skill of deployments, who can deploy machines, who can deploy AI models, who can deploy machine learning models. Now, people, what do you say? Who can take the greatest, uh, you know, uh, advantage of this current situation? Let's say there is a great need for the companies to deploy AI and machine learning models into the cloud. Who do you think, people with your experience, can take this space? Who is the better fit for this position?
I think people who already have deployed certain models, they can switch to AI/ML.
Correct. Now, for the purpose of simplicity, can I go ahead and say cloud engineers? For the purpose of some time, can I go ahead and say cloud engineers?
System administrators.
Okay, system administrators. Fine. For now, system admins. Now, since model is coming here and there is kind of skill, now what we need to go ahead and tell to the system administrator. So we'll have a meeting with the system administrator, cloud engineer, saying that, hey, cloud administrators and engineers, there's a great opportunity for all you people. That is, we have models developed by the machine learning engineers, AI and machine learning models. Now, what you do, my dear cloud engineers, you help us, you help the machine learning team to deploy their models. So what cloud engineers will do, they will start opening up their thought process and they say, hey, definitely we would be able to go ahead and give them a robust system where they can go ahead and deploy that model. Now, let me take the role of cloud engineer. What I will do now, I'll take the role of a cloud engineer because I have to go ahead and highlight about the cloud engineering. So let me go ahead and highlight about a cloud engineer. So when I go ahead and take the role of a cloud engineer, first thing is I need a model, or I need to go ahead and consider a model. That means someone, data scientist, machine learning engineer, developed a model. What is this model? This model can do image classification for now. Just for now, consider model is developed and that is image classification. It can do. It can predict whether it is of a cat or a dog. The best example that I gave you here using Keras. This can go ahead and do the prediction of a cat or an image. So this is the model. Now the model is able to go ahead and tell me that whether it is of a cat or image. From here, what I do, I take the responsibility of deploying it into cloud practice. I will go ahead and deploy to cloud. So cloud engineer has been given a great responsibility to take that image, that is image classification, Docker image for now. Code is given to him. What did he do? He did take that code He built a container out of it, and he's supposed to go ahead and deploy this code. What he's targeting? He's targeting to deploy this into cloud. So that is where the next technology comes into picture called machine learning, and we are focusing on ops part to deploy it. Artificial intelligence solutions, that means AI products, we are targeting the ops part. So whether it is now a machine learning model or an AI model, what we are trying to do, we are trying to go ahead and focus on the deployment. So what is artificial intelligence now? Artificial intelligence for our IT operations, AI ops is nothing but it's a process where I'm going to go ahead and use the AI techniques to take care of my infrastructure, correct? Because cloud engineer will take care of the infrastructure. What I can do from there, whatever the critical operations, just like I need to take care of monitoring, scheduling, backing up, all this I can focus on automation. Now, in order to go ahead and do this, we need to have a good skills where we go ahead and use machine learning, natural language, and all the other methods to improve the efficiency. So what is the benefit out of this? The benefits are plenty, right? Since now I have started to automate this entire process of AIOps and MLOps, my machine learning engineer can focus completely on model development, and cloud engineer who was earlier a cloud engineer now becomes an ML or AIOps engineer. And this is how a cloud engineer who was earlier a cloud engineer, just a system administrator, now is a AIOps engineer. That means he is getting an ability to take that AI model, machine learning model, build it and deploy it into the cloud. Participants, are we good now? So
Right.
just imagine yourself in the position of a cloud engineer, and I am your principal architect for machine learning project. And I go ahead and have a meeting with you, say, now we are elevating your permission. Now we are elevating you from the role of a cloud engineer to a machine learning and AIOps engineer, where your primary responsibility is to go ahead and do the following things. You are required to go ahead and build infra to deploy the applications on cloud, compute, storage, network, and design. You need to go ahead and focus on automating this infrastructure. You need to automate the infrastructure. The next responsibility is to maintain and monitor that infrastructure, maintain the infrastructure and monitor. And the fourth and primary importance, if I ask you, is to go ahead and focus on automation with regards to deploying that code. We need an automation pipeline to deploy the code into cloud practices. So what is that model? At this moment, don't worry, it's an image classification or natural language processing, some kind of model. Now, I was given, you people are the AIOps engineer. You are given a responsibility to build an infrastructure, automate that infrastructure, maintain and monitor it, and automate the way that you deploy the model into the cloud. So let's assume that the cloud at this moment is AWS cloud. In AWS cloud, we have the infrastructure like compute, EC2 instances, S3 buckets, storage, networks, VPC, all that stuff. Automation, you can use Terraform to do that. Maintenance and monitor, you can go ahead and monitor via the CloudWatch solutions. You have a lot of third-party solutions for monitoring it. ELK softwares, ELK softwares to monitor it. Now, how do you go ahead and deploy it into the system? So participants, for this, I need to introduce one keyword, which is basically you have to go ahead and use technology like Docker. You need to go ahead and take the Docker images, and with the help of built Docker images, you bundle that Docker images. Basically, what will happen? Whatever that machine learning model code was written, maybe a Python code, I need to take that code and build it in the form of a Docker image. And once the Docker image is built, I need to deploy it into Kubernetes. So in order to do the deployment into Kubernetes, I need to go ahead and involve a new technology called Kubeflow. Kubeflow is a dedicated open source tool which is basically used by AIOps and machine learning engineers to deploy the applications onto the Kubernetes, dedicated for machine learning and AIOps deployment. So participants, where did we start from? We started from a practical application which is running as a business unit. Someone is buying it. That means there is a logic behind it. That means we need to do deep model training. So deep model training is all about, an example I've given is image classification, like that image of a Taj Mahal or a dog or a cat by model. So a model has been trained to go and predict the type of image that we have. Now we will take into the ops part where we take that code, we build it in the of a Docker image, we deploy it into the Kubernetes environment, and further we'll go and use for our MLOps and AIOps module deployment using Kube. So keep a little aside for now, some time, or keep some time away for this model to focus on ops part, Dockerization, containerization, deployment into Kubernetes, Kubeflow. These are the essential skills for an AI ops to that of MLOps engineer. So what will happen? Model will be developed by your model engineers. You bundle it into a Docker image. You get an image out of it. You deploy into Kubernetes environment. You will scale it out using the pipelines involving Kube. So this is basically, participants, all about the role play, which has a AI ops. If you look at the definitions, AI ops, that means the one who has ability to build an AI model and an ML model. Now it is the responsibility that is given to us from cloud engineers. You will now become skilled personals who have an idea about what is model, how to develop a model, and how to go and take a built model, deploy it into environment. Welcome everyone to AI and MLOps capabilities. I know this is much of very challenging at this moment. I would like to go ahead and give you a very simple example that I have built. I will show you one of the models that I've built. So let me give you an example for it. So I have a model basically that will take the prediction of a fair price. Fair price means you go ahead and give it taxi data set, it trained that model, I turn it to a Docker image, and with the help of Docker image, I built a model. And the model that is built, I'm trying to go ahead and do predictions that what is the distance that has traveled. That means it will take an input from you. What is the distance traveled? It will go ahead and tell you what is the price for it. It will tell you what is the price for it. Where I'm trying to deploy, I'm trying to Dockerize that image and I'm trying to deploy it into deployments into Kubernetes. I'm trying to deploy that model into Kubernetes. So what I said, model development, Dockerizing it, Kubernetes deployment, Kubeflow pipelines. Is that helpful, everyone? Participants, am I good?
Yeah, yes.
Now, open up with your questions. Ask me any question you have. I'll start taking your questions. I know this has been very lengthy discussion, but I wanted to just be on the point that cloud adoption has on raised. The reason is the generative AI, the AI modeling. If you look at the definitions of AI and model, if you look at the definitions of AI and ML, you'll understand that there is an induced intelligence. The induced intelligence is because of the machine learning. So take that machine learning and take yourself from cloud engineering, system admin, infrastructure engineer into MLOps or AIOps engineer. For that, what are the tools and services? With that, please get started with your questions.
So what are the prerequisites for this MLOps and AIOps?
Pretty simple, at least one language knowledge like basic Python is required because you will have to understand how a model works, followed by
Hmm?
some expertise or some kind of experience with DevOps engineering
Fine.
like tools, Dockers, and Kubernetes. This is expected. This has some prerequisite because it's an advanced skill. It's an advanced course.
Okay. So you are saying So something like model developers, the architect, they develop the models, and as a AIOps or MLOps, oh sorry, MLOps, like I mean administrator, whatever it is, they automate the deployments, right? It's like a DevOps.
But correct. Let's assume, Kaja, you are my DevOps engineer. I am your machine
Yeah.
learning engineer. We sit together in a project. I'll develop the model for you. You take the model from me. You build the Docker image. You deploy it to
Oh,
Kubernetes environment. That is your
okay.
responsibility. My responsibility is to write the code.
Yes, yes, yes. Okay. I thought actually, it's kind of as a AI ops, that guy has to develop the models and deploy it. Actually, my background is middleware. Okay. So, right, server side middleware technologies, Tomcat, JBoss, and we are running the applications. Okay. Main intention to learn this actually, just I wanted to automate or auto resolve the incidents. Suppose something is broken. So if there are any hung threads, okay. Okay, just I wanted to automate that if there are any hung thread, okay, notice it in the logs, okay, take it down, restart the service, and analyze from your end. So, is that works?
Yeah, yeah. See, what your thought is correct. Basically, when you are
Mm.
into the infra domain, basically when you are part
Yeah.
of infrastructure, you will have to go ahead and take care of it. But you are building more than that. You are building a automation skill set. You are building model development, not model development, model deployment skill. You are building. You are managing infrastructure. You are containerizing it. For now, if you look at your skill, you are targeting a threat detection system. You are focusing on intrusion
Yeah,
system.
monitoring.
You
Yes. Yeah, monitoring
monitoring.
and detection and auto resolve. Yes.
Yeah. So you can go beyond this. I would suggest you take your skills to the next level because there will be a time when most of the things that you do right now can be automated. So if you want to be in the space of cloud practices, either you can pick up DevOps skill, or from DevOps skill you can take it to the next level involving MLOps skill. That is a suggestion for you.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, I worked on this like I mean, Kubernetes and Google, I mean, cloud. I have DevOps experience also. We used to like, we only share the script to DevOps team. They create the pipelines.
So I suggest for yourself also build this skill. Not that you
Yeah.
have to go ahead and be part of this course, but it is good that you come from an infra background. So adding this skill can be a great value addition for you, not only here, but wherever you look for. You can apply, mentioning that you are already an infrastructure engineer. You have taken the infrastructure. Now you are into the automation involving infrastructure, and you're looking forward to be part of an MLOps capabilities. This is how you can express yourself.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you.
So participants, questions from your side, please.
One quick question, Sid. Is there any difference between the AI model and ML model development or deployment? Or this is
Fair.
superset?
It's like at the bigger picture, the the visibility is AI is visible to you. But if you look at the core part of it, it is your ML that is doing the job. If you look at this, what you can say is this a ML model or an AI model? Image to text converter. For sure, this is a AI model. But if you look at the image to text converter, there should be some kind of logic written here. That is basically the machine got trained itself, the model trained itself. So at the bigger picture, it is the AI. Inside it, it is the machine learning. But if you look at even little more inside the machine learning, it is the deep learning model. That means there should have been some TensorFlow, Keras, Hugging Face, some kind of logic, PyTorch. There should be some kind of libraries that have done this job. Hope this is helpful.
Yeah, got it.
Ultimately, you deploy an AI model, which is basically a machine learning model, inside which
Oh,
is a deep learning Python code.
that's okay. Got it.
Welcome, participants. Yeah, next question, please.
Yes, Siddharth, can we get the support on Python and DevOps?
So let me understand the support in the sense you want some extra discussions or topic learning on
Yeah, yes.
Python.
For example, so we are working as a infra level only. We are not aware of DevOps. So
Okay,
then,
so
so
in
you
that case,
yeah, you will take any sessions for DevOps, like a little bit basic information on Python.
no problem. Thank you very much. So what I can do for you people is that off the sessions, whenever there is time for us on a weekend or a weekday, whenever I get the time, I'll update you sometime before, or we will plan out some sessions where we can brush up our Python skills, DevOps skills, so that you'll have at least you'll not have that feel that since I don't know Python or DevOps, I can't be lagging behind it. So I'll take care of it. I'll go ahead and spend some time you off the session. Is that okay?
Yeah, thank you, Siddharth. Thank you.
Can you share the course content? What are the topics you're going to cover?
Yes, we will share it across to you. So the team will share it across. Have a look into it. Okay. Yeah.
Sure, sure.
Next
Thank you very
question.
much.
Next questions, please. Okay. If you don't have any questions, then this is the point that I want to add, and I'll conclude. So participants, see, the world of cloud is so big now. Even if you have a little experience for what you're looking for, can get you a job. But with a tagline or with a disclaimer that you should first be very clear that what is that role that you want to enter into. You want to enter into a developer role where you have to write a logic of a code, or you want to remain into the space where you want to go and do deployments, automation, everything. So most often, 80% to 70 to 80% of the time, people part of these courses tend to be on the not on the developer side, but on the ops part. So when you are into the ops part, build a thorough skill of all the pipeline build tools, right? From source code, build tools, monitoring tools, containerization, dockerization, deployments, Jenkins, continuous integration. These are the skills that you need to build. So once you can go ahead and build these skills, it will be easy for you to go ahead and adapt to any of the system. And if you look at AIOps or MLOps, this is purely driven by the DevOps principles. So today, DevOps will help you not only to get a job, but also to take your skills to the next level where companies can, offer you whatever the current packages that you are at, more amount because they are in need of DevOps engineers. And for today, if you go and look at these DevOps engineers are now getting a skill that is building of deploying the models, managing the models. So at a point, if you consider the disclaimer that you want to enter into the space of DevOps engineering and you want to upgrade it to the MLOps, this is the right place for you. So decide yourself, think over this on this weekend, take some time, talk to your friends, do a little more research, and come to a conclusion whether this course will be able to help me to build that skill. If I build that skill, what is the way that I can go and look for opportunities into the market? Participants, if it is not now, somewhere or the other down the line, you have to do this. So with that, thank you everyone once again for all.
Siddharth, I'm sorry. Sid, just a quick thing. Since everybody is done with the question, see, mine is a very unique case compared to everybody else here. So, is there a way I can speak to you separately after the session, maybe 5-10 minutes, based on the time? Uh, like I said, I don't have experience with DevOps. My experience is completely different. So, the basic idea is, like I said, to see whether I fit in or not. So, if I don't fit in, then obviously it doesn't make sense because it's going to be a long shot for me. So, would you be able to give some time after this, or is it okay if I spoke to you separately?
We'll put a request to the team. If
Right.
you have any questions,